let's talk. Okay? And I'm going to speak to the churches here in America. Okay? There are so many churches here in America. You're acting like Saul. And let me explain. See, God chose to anoint David to be king because King Saul was failing the Israelites as king. Now, the Lord also put David, before he was king, he put David under, in the palace where Saul was, to, one, learn from Saul, and kind of learn how to, serve and things like that. But then, secondly, God also put David in there so that people can get a glimpse of what a true king of Israel was supposed to look like. He put King David inside there. So King David, not King David at this time, but David can give just a little bit of what the Israelites were missing because King Saul was failing to give them that. Likewise, God at times sends somebody to a church to, kind of join the church's, become a member of that church. Why? Sometimes it is to serve, sometimes it is to get on board with what that church is doing, but then other times it's because God is actually sending them to kind of show the church, to, show the simpletons that are going to that church how to gain wisdom. Why? Because like Saul, how he failed the Israelites, it was not giving the Israelites what they needed. Sometimes the pastors, they give the church, they give the church things like how to fight the spiritual battles, right? Sometimes churches give the right tools to, fight. So the pastor will give sermons about spiritual warfare, sermons about prophecy, sermons about how to follow the Lord Jesus Christ. But then what church is giving wisdom, telling the simpletons inside that church to gain wisdom? So if the pastor is giving the church all these other things, but not giving the people inside that church wisdom, God has no other choice but to send somebody, to send a church, a David, that can kind of show the people in that church what wisdom looks like, what gaining wisdom looks like. And so many churches misunderstand, well, like so this is how I know that many churches are a Saul, or acting like a Saul, because God will send people, right, that he wants to kind of give the church wisdom, but the church rejects that, is rejecting them. Well, that church is acting like Saul. Because here's the thing. David, that's the two reasons why David was there. He was there to learn, and he was there to kind of show the Israelites what a true king, was supposed to be. Like a true leader. Because at the time, that's what the Israelites were missing. And so, but King David did not ask for Saul's kingdom. In fact, David, he didn't go up to Saul and say, 3 weeks from now, I'm going to be the king of Israel. He didn't say that. But Saul acted as if David was telling him that. See, Saul acted like David was wanting the kingdom. David didn't want the kingdom. But God put him there for those two reasons, to learn, because God was going to eventually raise David up to be the king of Israel, but that's one of the reasons why he was there. He was there to learn. See? But then he was also there so that the Israelites could see something that they were missing. Because Saul, and likewise, there's so many churches in America that will give all these other things, will teach about all these other things, but the church is still filled with simpletons. And so God now has to send somebody that will show these simpletons inside the church how to gain wisdom. So if a church rejects the person that God is sending, that is a church that only cares about themselves. That's how I know that a church only cares about themselves. Because like Saul, just like Saul was trying to say that, oh, David's trying to take my kingdom. He's trying to take my kingdom. He's trying to take my rule. These churches are saying that, oh, this person that's, might give a little piece of wisdom here and there, oh, they're trying to take my job. Or these churches, or maybe somebody in the congregation is panicking, going, well, it kind of sounds like you're trying to teach and you're here to learn and not... Wait a minute. Did that person say that in 3 weeks they were going to take the pastor's job? No. If they never said that, then why are you acting like that? So, in a way, if God sends somebody to a church location to learn, and then also kind of show how to gain wisdom, it's not for that person to take the pastor's position. No, God's not going to raise them up to take. No, God is going to of their own. He's going to help them build a church of their own. And that church, because he now will be freely to preach about wisdom, guess what? That church is going to be wise. And guess what's going to happen? Because wisdom is so powerful, yeah, in a way, they actually will become the church in like a way. Like, they're not there to take over the pastor's position. But watch, as God helps them build a church, just watch. They will go far and beyond. Just like David went far and beyond. Because it's part of God's plan. Like, if God is sending somebody to a church, yes, he can send somebody to a church to join and become a member, but he can also send them as a David. Just like he sent David, he can send somebody to, one, learn, and two, try to help the church's congregation learn something that they are not learning from the pastor. But that doesn't mean that they are there to take the pastor's position. So the church needs to stop acting like they are there to... It's like, no. So if God was to send me to a church, I don't want to become the preacher of the church. No. I don't care about that. I don't care about becoming a preacher at this church or at that church or whatever church that God would send me to as a David. I do not want that pastor's position. No, I want for the Lord Jesus Christ to help me build a church, just like the Lord helped Noah build the ark.